First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, the water Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, for allowing me to do another video through the Spirit, the water Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, for giving us this truth as worms. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and salutation and blessings to the hopeful elect. And this is going to be a quick lesson on this thing that Japanese, the Japanese, I'm going to show two clips. The Japanese are comparing, black people, how they see black people as Viltrumites. And if you know the show Invincible, that they're basically a race of people that go around taking over and destroying. And, these nations remember us. Our people don't remember who we are. But these nations, they know who we are. They know when we're set up in power where their position is. They're well aware of that. So they have a great fear for the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans actually coming up and acknowledging who they are. And that's how you know that those people in the Holy Land are not the people, because they say that they've always known. It was prophesied that we would lose our heritage and be scattered amongst the nations and will forget who we were. But the rest of the world, these elites of these other nations, from Edom all the way to Moab, Ammon, all the way from Ishmael, Japheth, whatever, they know that we are the children of Israel. And I mean the top of them, the elites of them, the regular smuggler citizen of these societies. They don't know. They don't fucking know anything. Some of them do. Some of them actually do. But majority of them, they don't know. But these heathens remember when King David and King Solomon were in power. They remember when the Israelites went around conquering that known area, the Levant area, the land of Israel. And they remember that. They know. They like, yeah, you leave them the fuck alone. So I'm going to show these two clips and I'm going to get a few scriptures and close off.
Apparently this is how Japanese people see us African Americans or blacks. And you can see the thread down below in what he was saying. And to verify, y'all, this is all translated in Japanese off of Twitter. But bro, the number of black people has definitely increased, I'm guessing, in Japan. And above all else, their builds are just so different. The moment I see them, I think no matter what, on how you slice it, Japanese people can never compete with that. What? Well, despite having similar heights, having this thickness and weight class, vibe from another world entirely. When I imagine getting punched by one and thinking I might die from a single blow, it fills me with unbearable fear. My friend, what did we... I'm kind of just perplexed. What did we do? We haven't said anything. Like, what is going on at this point? What is causing someone to feel this way? To my knowledge, we're just living our lives. But I guess we are Viltrumites in all reality. Like, what? This is insane, bro. This can't be real.
And actually, I'm just going to play that clip. But he said something specific. He said, what did we do? We went around conquering and destroying. And these nations remember that. You, Jakes, forgot who you were. You forgot. But these other nations, even they subconsciously know that we are these people, man. We're God's chosen people, man. And the elites of these people, they know it, but subconsciously, deep down, man, they know something is different about the so-called, specifically Judah. They know something is different from them, from everyone on the planet Earth. They know something is different about them. Rather it's bad or good, they know that there's something different about them. And they can't put their finger on it, but they know there's something different about them. But they subconsciously know that we are the rightful rulers, man. But the elites, especially the elites of these societies, they know that we are those people. They know that. And they know the history. They know our history. And I'm going to get that Judah. But first I'm going to get this. Because he said, what did we do? This is what we did. Let's get it. Let's get what the nation of Israel did, man. We were a dominating force upon the planet Earth at one point, man. We went around dominating and destroying these other nations with the power of heaven backing us. They know that. They have that history. And they're terrified for that to ever happen again, because when we are set up in power, they're on the bottom. And eventually it's going to be enjoyable, just like they showed with the Viltrumites. They had the recent episode, I seen a clip where the lady, which is always like that, the aliens or whatever who come, they always say, look, the way this planet is being ruled is going to lead these people to destruction. They're going to die. They're all going to die. The rulers are corrupt. They're all killing one another. They're causing wars just for the profit of money. She said, we have the technology to help them. And we do. The Israelites have the technology, and not them rats in the Holy Land. It's crazy to think, but these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the Lord's chosen people, have what the planet Earth needs, because it's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. We're going to heal this planet, man. As I know it's hard for you motherfuckers to believe it, that these blacks, these niggas, these spiggers, these Native Americans are some type of royal people, but we are. We weren't always in this broken down estate. It's only now, because we were prophesied to lose ourselves, man. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, we've regained that knowledge, and through that knowledge, and through the knowledge which Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai has given us, that's what's going to rebuild the planet Earth, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, with Yahushai at the helm of it all. So this is Joshua 10 and verse 22. It says, then said Joshua, open the mouth of the cave and bring out the 5 kings unto me out of the cave. And they did so. And they did so, and brought forth those 5 kings unto him out of the cave, and the king of Jerusalem, and the king of Hebron, and the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon. And it came to pass, when they brought out those kings unto Joshua, that Joshua called for all the men of Israel. Sorry, bear with me. Called for all the men of Israel, and said unto the captains of the men of war, which went with him, come near, put your feet upon the necks of these kings. And they came near and put their feet upon the necks of them. And Joshua said unto them, fear not, nor be dismayed, be strong and of good courage, for thus shall the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai do to all your enemies against whom ye fight. So it was told to us that this is what we're going to do to all our enemies, and we did. We went through conquering and destroying, man. Not only to the kings not only to these kings, but to the kings that were round about. Look what David did to the Moabites after they shamed him. Look what happened. So these nations remember that. They remember us being in power. They remember when Solomon had them hewers of wood and drawers of water, because Solomon had all the nations in captivity, all of them. The ones of Moab, Ammon, Esau, they were at the bottom while we were on top. They only broke free after the split happened. So they know this, man. You Jakes are the ones that forgot. And that's why he's so confused. Like, what did blacks do? What did we do? Because we are the Israelites. No matter how much you try to fight it, no matter how much you want to deny it, we are the Israelites. And we are meant to reign upon this planet Earth, man. Thus saith the Bible. That's what our Lord promised us. This is Judith 5, and I'll start at 18. There's the point. It says, but when they departed from actually I should start up because there's a little history here actually I'll get it. It said, but when they departed from the way which he appointed them, which was the law, statutes, commandments, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captive into a land that was not theirs. And this is what happened to us. And the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their city was taken by the enemy. But now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the place where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. So they know we're coming back to our power, and they see that. We're coming back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and the world is seeing that. So yes, naturally they're afraid, because when we were set up in power, when we're good with our power, we're on top. We're on top. When we are good with Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we rule. And all the nations know that. When you read that Judith, the 5th chapter, when you go into it, he goes into the history, and he's telling I forget was this in a crib? I forget exactly who it was, who he was telling this to, one of the kings of the Assyrians. He was telling them, look, man, yeah, this people, they went around conquering, but since they left off from their power, they've been led into captivity. But now, since they've been brought back, you really should just leave them alone. Because when they're good with their power, when they're in good standing with their power, they're unstoppable. And the world is seeing that, because when we're good with Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and in good standings, and in His grace, there's nothing you can do to us. There's literally nothing you can do to us. You can't touch us. We're untouchable, because our power is with us, and the power of heaven is again with the men of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and there's nothing you can do to stop that. So you're fucked, bro. You're fucked, and soon y'all will be put back into that low position. Were you honestly, this is where you're supposed to be. Look at how you nations rule under the guidance of yourselves in Esau, Edom. Look at y'all lands, man. Your lands are desolate. Some of them are beautiful, but majority, you can look at India. India is fucking horrible. Look at Beijing, China, the capital of fucking China. That place is a fucking shithole, man. Everybody on top of everybody, chaos, man. When we're set up in power, and when we're set up in rulership, you heathens are not going to be able to rule how you rule, man. All that shit is going to be put to naught. We're going to rule through the means of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And the scriptures say the welfare of the welfare of the world is the welfare of the wise is the welfare of the world. Roughly paraphrasing that scripture. When we get set up in power, yes, these niggas, we're not going to be niggas anymore. But the people that you deem as niggas and niggers and spiggas and beans and all these different degrading names, all these proverbs and bywords, all that is going to come all that is going to come to naught, man. We're not going to be deemed those things in the near future, man. We're going to be set as rightful rulers and rightful kings and judges as our power promised us all those years ago, according to the prophecy, man. And this being at the bottom and being, dealing with this shame, all that's going to go away. Trust and believe. Trust and believe, man. So let's get this. This is and I'm going to close with this. This is 1 Kings 9 and verse 19. And in all the cities, in all the cities that Solomon had, and cities of his chariots, and cities of his horsemen, and that which Solomon desired to build in Jerusalem and in Lebanon, in all the land of his dominion, and all the people that were left of the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, which were not of the children of Israel, their children that were left after them in the land, whom the children of Israel also were not able utterly to destroy, upon those did Solomon levy a tribute of a bondservant, and unto this day. And of the children of Israel did Solomon make no bondmen, but they were men of war, and his servants, and his princes, and his captains, and rulers, and his chariots, and his horsemen. So he put Israel on while he put the rest of the world at the bottom. And this is the same thing that the Heavenly Father is going to do once again, and even greater. There will not be any coming up out of that. You will be put down through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Shai. You're going to be put down at the bottom, man. And there's no stopping that. And you nations, and Jake is confused on why the Japanese view is like that. I'm not surprised. Because these nations know, and some of them know and understand, especially the elites of them, that when we are set up in power, they're at the bottom. And they're under our foot. And you revolt if you want to. Watch what happens. This is Revelation 11. This is Revelation 11 and verse 14. 11:11, it says, after 3 days and a half, which is 350 years, that time period where we were put completely down, especially Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, but the northern kingdom was even put down during this time too, even before Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. But 1619 to 1970, that 350 year period, when them slave ships left, all the way up until Abba Bivens came up into the scene. And it says, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Yeah. So great fear is falling upon our enemies, because they know, and some of them understand, that when we're set up in power, the Israelites, the true Israelites, not those fake ones, we rule and dominate, and everyone else is put down. And then you can revolt if you want, but it's not going to be pretty for you. Just like with the Viltrumites. So, Lord will, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. And we're not going to rule exactly like the fucking Viltrumites. That's just a TV show. But, that's just using an example. We're not fucking going to rule exactly like that. That's just a fucking TV show and just entertainment, man. That's just, but that's how the Japanese are comparing us to. So with that, shalom.